Here we are, you finally made it to the end. This is, for now, the last Apple TV short review roundup video on Flying Wiener. Hi, my name's Stu and welcome to another short review roundup video on Flying Wiener. Like I said, this for now is going to be the last one, but I mean, pure coincidence, but I've saved a lot of the best until last, not intentionally. So this is definitely not going to be like, oh, this is, just him sort of rummaging around in the barrel to find something to talk about. Absolutely not. These are really great shows. There's a lot here that I definitely love and absolutely need to talk about. What are we talking about? 3 TV shows. Actually, only one of them is rather new. The other 2 have already been established and have already got multiple seasons. The first one we're going to talk about, we actually have to talk about. If you saw my review for All Mankind, which I'll leave a link to at the end of this video, you will not be surprised to hear that I enjoy sci-fi. So I really need to talk about Foundation, which is absolutely amazing. It's really kind of blown my mind a bit. Yeah, even so much I have to think about reading the books, maybe at some point. Second thing we're going to talk about is a TV show called The Morning Show, which I actually never expected to watch, but I must say I am very pleasantly surprised. It is about a morning show, which on the surface sounds really boring, but we'll definitely get into that. The third thing we're going to talk about is Silo, which is a sort of dystopian thing about humanity having to live in a silo because they can't venture outside because the whole of the earth is polluted, basically. If you want to jump ahead to any of these, although I really implore you to listen to all of them because all 3 of these shows are interesting in their own right, you can jump ahead if you want to, by using the bar, at the bottom of the screen, or the timestamps in the description, if you want to. Anyway, we will get stuck into Foundation. If you're not familiar with it, I had heard about it. I mean, I am a fan of Dune, and one of the other series among many that is always mentioned when you talk about the Dune books is also Foundation. Yeah, it's written by the whole series is written by not risen. I suppose you could say risen. No, but written by Isaac Asimov, who is obviously a well-renowned, one of the most renowned science fiction writers of all time. And Foundation, as I know, I haven't read any of his books, but as I understand, Foundation is his big magnum opus. Similar to Dune, it sort of explores the thought of having a galactic empire and what that actually means. Your empire being so big that you can't actually really visually comprehend it or actually have it under check and control all the time. And it's really great. It's where Dune focuses obviously a lot on the planet of Arrakis while talking about the universe. Here we get to see more of that larger universe. Obviously it's not the same, completely separate, but we get to see more of the universe that we are situated in. What's interesting here is the galactic empire here is actually for hundreds of years been ruled by a clone. So there's been this ruler, his name was Cleon, and he was like, I am so amazing, I am so great. That's what I expect anyway, what he said. I am just going to clone myself. And so we see iteration of clones, just him being cloned again and again, and they sort of rule as a council. So you've always got an old Cleon, you've got a sort of middle-aged Cleon, and then you've got a young Cleon. And so yeah, they call themselves Brother Night and Brother Day, and Brother Dawn and Brother Day and Dusk and all these things. It's a really cool concept. I really enjoy it a lot. And in that role, as the let's call him the Brother Day, which is the main one, the main ruler. We've got Lee Pace, who is just an amazing actor, and he's just so powerful in this role. The second series especially gives him even more stuff to do. Really enjoy that. And then you've got what really kicks off the story. You've got Jared Harris, who is another actor I really like. He comes along as a scientist. So they've got this, they call it psychohistory. Through mathematical formulas, they've been able to predict that if society continues in the way it has, it's just going to crumble, the whole thing. And he obviously is imploring the Emperor, to work against this. And if they build this foundation, which is a sort of big library of human knowledge that's been gathered, they will shorten these dark ages, these coming dark ages, to just 1,000 years instead of God knows how long. And this is basically what it's about. So we're seeing, the Emperor not wanting to give in to this because obviously he sees himself as all-knowing and all-powerful. He'll handle it. Then you've got these people at the foundation trying to build this stuff, you know, trying to collect this knowledge, and you see various things from the galaxy as well. Now it seems very complicated, but it's done really well. The jumps are fine, we know who the characters are, and it's just a really fascinating universe they built here. So if you're a sci-fi fan, you have to watch Foundation, absolutely. I'd love to talk more about it actually, but this is a short review roundup video. So we're going to the morning show, which I believe when it came out, they said this is the most expensive show ever made. I was like, it's about a morning TV show, how does that work? When you see the production values, I mean, it looks like one of these big fancy American TV morning shows. So you're like, okay, fine, this will have cost a lot. Also, you've got Jennifer Aniston in it, you've got Reese Witherspoon, I mean, you've got Steve Carell and a lot of other people in it. So it's like, yeah, okay, there will have been some actors' wages to pay here as well. What is it about? It is about this morning show, yes, which stars Jennifer Aniston's character and Steve Carell's character. And Steve Carell's character, the whole thing starts off with him being fired from the network because of sexual abuse allegations against him, right? Of sexual misconduct and stuff within the company. This is what kicks off us. So the whole network is in disarray. You know, how are we going to handle this situation? What are we going to do? How are we going to talk about it? How are we going to address these issues in the company? At the same time, we see Steve Carell's character, who is like, this is all Me Too rubbish. You know, they're going against me. They're trying to take me down. I never did these things. You know, I have to fight to regain my name. All these things. And it's really interesting. Not only does it give you this sort of hectic everyday of this morning show where like, who would want to be a news anchor? It must be completely insane, you know, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and all these kind of things. Stress, especially the stress and having someone in your ear all the time. It's not just that, but I think it's, I mean, you're happy to share in the comments below, but I believe this is one of the best, or at least the biggest show I have seen to date, a drama show that really makes the topic, you know, focuses on the topic of what, you know, has been happening in the last, let's call it 10 years, where all these things come to light, and how do we deal with it, and how do those people deal with it, and just discussing, you know, company environments and all these kind of things. And I found that really interesting. And the characters are just great. I mean, the actors are wonderful, you know, there's nothing bad to say there. I've seen 2 seasons of it. I think the 3rd one is about to come out shortly, so whenever I do resubscribe to Apple TV Plus, I'll definitely have a look to see how that continues. Yeah, because also I would like to say, I mean, Reese Witherspoon is also great, but from Jennifer Aniston, this is definitely the most diverse acting I've seen from her, so I feel that she gets a really great spotlight in this, which I'm happy about because I'm partial to her, I like her. So it's great. Steve Carell as well, you know, he's obviously known as a comedy guy. Here he gets to do a lot of drama, which is great. And Reese Witherspoon is just sort of, she gets brought in as to rejuvenate the whole thing because she's more outspoken and doesn't really, you know, follow these company guidelines about what to say and how to do, and, you know, when she's broadcasting. And she does that really well. So she's a great contrast to Jennifer Aniston's character. If you're interested in these kind of topics, you should definitely look at this show because I think it does it really well, and it's just written really well. So yeah, going from one episode to the next, I was just curious to see how they continue the story and to see what's going to happen at this network. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is a show called Silo, which I'll be honest about, it's good, but it was slightly disappointing to me. It stars Rebecca Ferguson, who most recently was in Dune, and well, she was in the newest Mission Impossible film as well. Dead Reckoning Part 1, I believe is the correct title. She's a great actress, I really like her, and I like the premise. So if you don't remember from the intro, humanity, about 10,000 people are living in this silo. It's underground, they do not know, and this is what it starts with actually, they've got this mantra, we don't know who built the silo, we don't know how long we've been here, we don't know what the world outside is like, we just know that, you know, we're not going out there because it's deadly out there. That is the premise of the show. How do they know they don't go out there? Because they have this rule that if someone says they want to go out, because eventually some people crack and go insane about living underground, I suppose. If you say you want to go out, you are sent out, and then everyone watches, and it's a big spectacle because they've got a wee camera, and whoever's outside, they eventually clean this camera so everyone inside can see it, and then you watch them as they die. So seemingly the air is just so toxic that even with a protective suit, you just die. So everyone's stuck in this silo, and I thought this is, you know, it's going to be this exploration of who built it and why are they there and all these kind of things, etc. And it is that in part, but the majority of it is this sort of murder mystery thing, because people die, and then Rebecca Ferguson, who's actually an engineer there, she becomes the sheriff and she's investigating this thing, and that's how you learn some of the things about, you know, what's been going on and who built the silo. But it's not in the way I wanted it. I didn't want a murder mystery thing. I wanted a sort of sci-fi thing where it's like, whoa, this is amazing, great concepts, and what is the world out there? I mean, it's just the first season, and as I understand it, obviously, eventually we will get to see the rest of the world and explore that. It's just from this first entry, I expected more than just a sort of little murder mystery underground. It's like, explore this silo. How do people live? I mean, 10,000 people in a silo underground. Show me more of it, you know, and how it works. I mean, you got to see some of the engineering, and it was fascinating, but show me more. So I'm hoping that, you know, future seasons will have a bit more of that. So, I mean, it is a recommendation, but if you're like me and you're thinking this is going to be, you know, some big world-bending thing or so, it sadly is not, but hopes high for the future. That'll be all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel. Leave a comment down below about any of these TV shows, any you want to watch. Are you happy that I'm finally finished talking about Apple TV Plus? We'll see what comes next. I'll keep you updated, especially when I resubscribe to Apple TV Plus in maybe a year's time or so. We'll see. I'll let you know. Any and all that, put that down in the comments below, please. I'll thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one on Flying Wiener. Take care.